definition of being an empath, which is that empaths have at least one ability to directly experience, like from the inside, what it's like to be another person.
Oh.
Now, another way of looking at it that might seem a little easier to just get a load of right from the beginning is if you've ever heard of highly sensitive persons. Have you ever heard of HSPs?
Yes, I have.
So then you probably know that 1 out of 5 people is wired for life as a highly sensitive person. That is the genius work of Dr. Elaine Aron, a clinical psychologist who beautifully has researched up and down how across cultures there are some people who are naturally more sensitive neurophysiologically, if you want to use fancy language. So 1 in 4 HSPs is not only a highly sensitive person, but also an empath. So all empaths are highly sensitive persons, but not all HSPs are empaths. Does that help at all?
No.
Well, maybe I could go into what some of the different empath gifts are.
All right, let's do that.
Let's do that. Because it's very possible some of you are listening and you have one or more of those gifts, and you never thought about it in terms of, I have a lifelong gift as an empath, and until I'm skilled, every day of my life I have imported stuff that comes into my aura from just casual contact with other people, and it creates all kinds of small and medium and large messes. So on the positive side, some empath gifts are physical. There's physical oneness and there's physical intuition, and these have to do with learning about what's going on with another person's physical system. And if it's intuition, you just know what's going on with a person. If it's a oneness gift, then you experience it in your body. It's like if you've ever met somebody who was a hypochondriac, probably that person had physical oneness and zero skill.
Oh, okay, because they're actually reading what other people have, thinking it's them. They go get it checked. They're okay, and away you go.
Yeah, some of my clients have actually been ill to such an extent that they went into a hospital or really did see just a doctor over something, and there was nothing there, but the person had suffered so much. And it's not really fun to hear it's all in your head or go find a psychologist to help you not have psychosomatic illnesses, because with all respect to my colleagues who don't do aura-level healing as I do, but do psychological healing, and thank goodness for them, psychological techniques, including boundary work, do not help empaths in the least. Boundary work helps non-empaths sometimes, but it doesn't. I've taken surveys when I've done empath workshops in Asia, in Europe, and in the United States, and trust me, so many of the people have tried boundary work, and has it helped them? Pretty much not. But learning dedicated skills for empaths helps them, whether their gifts are physical, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, they're animal empaths, environmental empaths, plant empaths, mechanical empaths. It's a long list, but the bottom line is that if you're merely talented and you're not skilled yet, every day of your life you wind up taking on what I call stuff. It gets into your aura. And what I mean by stuff, Rob, is stored up emotions, energetic debris, garbage, that gets in at a subconscious level. See, one of the coolest things that I've discovered in my working in the field of New Age since 1970 is that level that metaphysically people talk about as psychic or astral, and I know you've had conversations about
times,
that. That paranormal level, that equals what psychologists call your subconscious mind. Now, maybe that was no big deal when you figured that out, but for me, I was really high for a week. It was so thrilling. Yeah, that subconscious, the divine level of life, sometimes called etheric or akasha, is the equivalent of higher self or wise mind. And your conscious mind, that tells you about human frequencies, objective ones and subjective ones. It's useful to sort that out. What I do in that field of Rosetree energy spirituality that you were asking about before, Rob, is that I have identified about 10 different types of stuff that create problems in life for people. And I have also co-created or downloaded techniques that are very specific for healing each kind of stuff. And I now teach that to apprentices. I have graduates in my system. And I really hope to multiply my effectiveness and help more people feel better and have better lives because of getting effective healing that impacts the subconscious mind, but it's not done by being like a psychotherapist who does techniques to help the subconscious mind, if that makes sense at all.
Let me ask you a question. We've got to go for our news break in about a minute. But when a person is empathic, are they able to shut it off? Because if you're going through a shopping center, if you're going through an airport, and if you don't have the ability to shut your empathic ability off, you'd be just bogging yourself down.
The ability to turn your empath gifts off is absolutely possible, but it takes learning skills. And a rather indelicate analogy that I will just hint at for you and your delicate sensibility and listeners to being very refined is potty training. There's a couple of abilities in there that everybody's born with, but you're not born knowing how to control them. But fortunately, it's learnable. So I'd offer a kind of potty training for grown-ups, Rob. Shall we leave it at that?
Let's leave it for that. Leave it at that for now. All right, we've gone from the bubble bath to the potty bowl. Only here in the X-Zone. X-Zone Nation, Rosetree is my special guest of this hour. www.rose-rosetree.com. And Rose and I will be back on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break with the news. X-Zone Nation, if you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. If you'd like to chat with any of our people on any of the social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And our site is available with past shows at www.xzoneradiotv.com. My name is Rob McConnell. My guest this hour, the one and only bubble bath queen herself, Rosetree, and I will be back on the other side of the news. Don't go away. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Joyce with Stargazing on the X-Zone, the week of May 5th through May 11th, 2014. A favorable trine between willful Sun and the intense Pluto gives us the power to transform the darkest reaches of our unconscious minds into the light of love. Because Pluto, the planet of transformation, is connecting with the Sun in Taurus, you can indulge in new ways of thinking and see things not for what they are, but for what they could be. Unlimited realities. On Cinco de Mayo, Monday, the moon is in Leo, which really knows how to throw a party. The cosmic ups and downs of recent months begin to even out as May delivers a dose of steady Taurus energy. Mercury slides into Gemini on Wednesday, where it enjoys the status of the favorite sun. Sales, marketing, and social networking will be busting with new ways to connect that have never been tried before. Change can cause conflict. Conflict brings about change. This is a time in the cycle of human affairs when things need stirring up and when the hint of dramatic change is in the air, especially with politics. In order to succeed, revolutionary change must be in alignment with certain unchanging natural laws. The process must begin at the right moment, gather support from a broad base of people, be guided by sincere and capable leadership, and, most important of all, must address a real need. The strength of the focus of change will always be in proportion to the urgency of the need being championed. This is true whether the revolution is in government, in business, in education, or in one's personal affairs. Revolutionary change points a time when chaos arises from order. It is important to realize that not all order is good and not all chaos is bad. Chaos, in fact, is an integral part of the way things, as any parent in modern science will confirm, happen. Have the courage to radically change and renew the way you present yourself. In this way, you can summon chaos to your cause, and you will unleash a new power on your behalf. If engaging in a negotiation, change the rules. If composing a piece of music, add the unexpected. If courting a lover, dare to be unconventional. Saturday brings obstacles as you really want change as well as to be loved. The moon is in Libra for Mother's Day. There are numerous ongoing challenges all that day, so don't allow obstacles and hurts from the past to be reignited. Just go with the flow and plan to call it an early evening.
And for more information on Elizabeth Joyce, or to actually contact Elizabeth for a one-on-one private consultation, her website is www.new-visions.com, and Elizabeth now does one-on-one consultations worldwide via Skype. That's www.new-visions.com. My guest this hour, X-Zone Nation, is Rosetree. And Rose, it's always great having you here in the X-Zone. Congratulations on all the wonderful things that you've accomplished over the years that I've had the pleasure of knowing you. And what has been your most rewarding venture that you've done?
Wow, that's a tough question, Rob. Wow. I guess I enjoy teaching people skills the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that saying, if you give a person the fish, the person has a fine fish dinner, but if you teach to catch the fish, then watch out, pond. It's maybe not always phrased that way. It's very rewarding to me that the things that I teach are kind of down-to-earth, common-sense ways of using more potential in life. And I love helping people. There are many people who've been clients for my personal sessions over the years,
mm-hmm.
and they've been doing really well. And training people to facilitate depth healing for clients it's sort of like becoming a mom, but in a different way. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm the other kind of mom, too, and I love my boy. And then I get to be the sort of mom of my teachers.
You on your website, you have a section entitled Cutting Cords of Attachment. In today's society, I would imagine that this is a very important thing for people to learn how to do, is cut the cords of attachment. And I was wondering if you could explain to our listeners how cutting the cords of attachment, as seen by you, Rosetree, would help them.
Well, sure. I think the best way to start answering that great question, Rob, is to define what a cord of attachment is. People talk about, I cut the cord to him, and I cut my umbilical cord here, and I cut my cable cord here. So here's the deal. When you first become interested in a human being, say Joe or Gladys, two names I like using a lot for examples. When you first become interested, say in Joe, there are two energy structures that connect you to Joe. One of them is called a